What's up guys, Syiler here, and we're continuing our raiding with Leash's achievement. A few days ago I covered the pets that came from Naxxramas, which contribute towards raiding with leashes, and once you collect all the pets you'll unlock Mr. Bigglesworth as a pet for use basically. So this week we're going to be covering the Blackwing Lair pets, and there's 3 in total from here, and once again I'll cover the short version of the video showing you which bosses they come from and which pets you can get, and then later on we'll cover the long version, which is where I run through the raid and show you, give you a few hints and tips on how to kill each boss and get there and stuff like that. So the first one up is the Untamed Hatchling, and that's from Razorgore the Untamed, which is the first boss in BWL. And this is now soloable, easier. They have changed the fight to make it, more accessible for people who are looking to solo it. So you should have less issue than before, but it still is a bit of a challenge. The next one up is the Talon Whelpguard, and this comes from Broodlord Lair, and I believe that's the 3rd boss within the instance. Once you get to this boss, it's pretty easy to solo. The only painful part is the little event before him. For some reason that's still in the game, but you have this incredibly annoying event where you have to run through this really slow motion thing and then get to the boss and then kill him. Once you get to the boss though, it's fairly easy, so you shouldn't have too much issues with that. And then the final one is Chrominius, and that comes from Chrominius, which is the 7th boss, I think it is, in BWL. So you don't need to fully clear the raid if you don't want to, but you'll near enough have to, but it shouldn't take you too long, to be honest. And once again, this should be a easy soloable boss depending on your class and spec and gear. So that's the short version of the video, and we're going to cover the long version, giving you a bit more insight on how to actually do all this. So first up, where the actual raid is, it's located in Blackrock Mountain, and you need to have the attunement. Hopefully you've got that. If not, you have to run through Upper Blackrock Spire, I believe it is, and pick up the quest from one of the orcs outside before you actually enter. Pick up the quest, which will be on the corpse. Head inside, clear that, and then you'll unlock the attunement to get inside. And as you can see, this is now soloable. They've changed it and made it so the ability to crack the eggs it no longer has a cooldown, so you can spam that as much as you want. Good few tips on this fight is to, once you've got a few ads on you, and also the channeling doesn't get knocked back when your character gets hit. Before, if your character got hit, the channeling would reduce its duration, but that doesn't happen anymore. But if you make the mob sort of run up the ramp and then jump off, you'll be able to, gain yourself a few seconds. And if you're not too familiar with this fight, you actually need to make the big ad kill all the eggs, but you can't let the big ad die. The way you do that is by clicking on this orb, as you see here. Click on the orb and you'll gain control of the big ad. The problem is these mobs will spawn during the fight and they'll try and kill you or the big ad. So you need to make sure, the boss, who is Razorgore, so you want to try and keep him alive no matter what and crack all the eggs. So you don't want to kill him during cleave or whatever, and you don't want to kill, you don't want to die either. If he dies, then the room will explode and everyone will die. So you don't want that to happen. So a few tips is to, make use of the fact that you have no cooldown on the egg break. Jump off the ramp so the mobs have to run up and then run back down. And also, if you target Razorgore and have a heal on your bar that's visible, you can press that and heal him before the cast ends. If it's an instant cast, for example, I can lay on hands him, or I can Gift of the Naru him. I can give him some form of heal or shield, which is really useful. And you can also kill the ads, but you want to make sure you don't cleave, because if you do, you may end up killing Razorgore, which you don't want. So there's a few strategies there that you can put into play, and I didn't do this too well. I nearly ended up dying, and so did Razorgore, but I still managed to do it with me derping around. So if you've got a better strategy, you'll probably be able to do this fairly easy. But there's a few hints and tips that you'll be able to incorporate, and hopefully you'll be able to solo this a hell of a lot easier than you used to be able to. And the other great thing is, with 5.1, you don't need to be in a raid group to enter raids anymore, so you can just pop in on your own and do it. But getting a friend here would not hurt. It'd make the fight a hell of a lot easier. Have someone there to kill the ads, and then someone there to control the main ad, their Razorgore, and then that'll make the fight 50 times easier. 50 zibillion times easier. And then once the boss is actually, once you've destroyed all the eggs, the boss will basically engage, all the ads will run out of the room, and you'll finally be able to kill Razorgore. So once all the eggs are destroyed, that's when you can actually kill Razorgore. And then once you kill him, you'll have it seems to be around a 10% chance of actually getting the pet from him. So it's not guaranteed, you won't get it 100%. And the next boss up is immediately Valestraz. I'm terrible at pronunciation, but yep. You'll immediately come over to this boss, and you'll need to talk to it to engage the fight. It does take a little while, it's a bit of RP, and you can't skip this boss, it does need to die. Now this boss is a DPS race, and healers or tank classes might not be able to do this, because they'll put a debuff on you, and once the debuff expires, you'll die. So you need to kill him before basically he kills you. And even when you do kill him, the debuff will remain, and you'll unfortunately die. So either way, you need to kill him basically before he kills you. So use any burst you've got if you're a shaman or whatever, bloodlust, you know, and get him out of the way. And that doesn't drop anything relevant, so we don't need to worry about loot off that boss. Head through here, clear out the trash, and follow on to the next room. And this bit's painful. This bit you need to run through. If you're a rogue, I believe you can still disarm the traps. Not too sure if that's been changed. But yeah, this is going to slow you down. Basically, these gas things reduce your movement speed crazy. And Hand of Freedom, unfortunately, doesn't work. So you're just going to have to burn through it. Well, slow motion through it until you get to the end. And you'll head up the ramp and then into a second room full of more gas. Yeah! And then straight across, and we'll head to the next boss, who is Broodlord Lashleer. Now once we get to this actual boss, there's no real mechanics that you need to worry about. Simple, just burn him down and get him done as quickly as possible. I believe he does do a bit of a knockback, so you might want to face him towards the wall so you don't get knocked into the slow again. But apart from that, you know, just basic DPS him down. The hardest part of this is actually getting to the boss. It's a bit of a pain. And once again, this boss does need to be killed so we can move on to the next one, and it also does drop one of the pets. And this drops the Deaf Talon Whelpguard, so definitely a boss that we want to kill. And as I said, not too sure on the drop rates, but it does seem to be around a 10 to sort of 20% drop chance, so it isn't guaranteed, it's quite low. Then we head into this large room, and we can skip pretty much all this trash, especially at level 90. There are these dragons flying around, which are like mini bosses. You can kill them if you want, or some of them are skippable. I'm not too sure if these actually need killing for the door to unlock, but we kill them anyway just to get them out of the way. The next one up puts a debuff on you when you attack it, or when it attacks you, one of the two. It heals, so you need to be able to do enough damage to basically damage through the debuff. As you can see, it does heal a little bit, but I'm able to do enough damage to actually kill it through that debuff, so that's not a problem. And then this flame gore doesn't really do much anyway. Kind of enrages, you know, nothing too special there. I'm going to head through this room, clear out one more trash pack, and then we're going to get to the final boss, which is Chrominius. And this is going to have a chance of dropping Chrominius. This boss will put various debuffs on you, such as like increasing damage taken from fire, just random stuff like that, but you should have no real issue with soloing this either. And there you go, that's the 3 bosses that can be found in Blackwing Lair. The main one you're going to have problems with is the first one, which is Razorgore the Untamed. And I was lucky enough to get Chrominius from this guy. So we'll check out Chrominius, and yeah. So look out for the next one. We're going to be covering probably the AQ pets next time. So keep an eye out for that video coming pretty soon. And we'll also have a Rate My Transmog on Sunday. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya!